Hello and welcome to Gentleman EDC. In this section we're going to talk about money. But above all, in order to make money you need to consider yourself a business manager, a business owner, or even some sort of leader or supervisor. In doing so, meaning you're going to have to get yourself organized. A lot of different ways of getting organized is pretty much taking notes, journaling, and on a lot of the things that you're going to be dealing with websites, you're going to also have to take notes of passwords and websites and this, that, and the other. So I'm going to show you some of the methods I'm using to keep organized and get my stuff together and stuff. Best way I've been doing is using journals. Now the journals here, I usually have a couple of sets, one that I keep with me and one I keep home. These are the two that I normally use, but there are other options, like you can have the hardcover ones, like these, or you can actually use these ones, which were way more embellished. They're a lot larger, but as you can see, they're pretty nice. Definitely will do the job. But let me show you the ones that I'm using. Now you're probably wondering, oh, why am I using these old journals? Why am I using these old books? Why don't I use the modern ways of doing it? Well, I use both. These I use mostly because, well, they don't need batteries. I keep them in a briefcase so they don't get damaged, and they look kind of old and tattered. Nobody's going to wind up stealing these. I use these pretty much all the time for everything. For passwords, websites, and I'll even do some embellishment using washi tape. Okay, what is washi tape? Washi tape is this stuff. These things usually cost, $1, $2 and stuff, and basically all it is just tape. It's specially colored tape. Now, how do you use this specially colored tape? Well, I'll open up this journal and show you. As you can see on the edges, you can see it very well on this camera, but a lot of these edges I have the washi tape on the sides, so it's easier to find. And I also put little tabs. These little tabs you can get at Staples, and they're like $1 or so. And I could put little permanent bookmarks on all stuff. Now the notes I usually take on this is, like, for instance, the Gentleman EDC site. I put some washi tape, make it a little bit better, so that it's easier to identify and stuff. And I just wrote down everything. These are not like passwords or anything. These are just some notes that I have concerning how to do what I'm going to do, and just some ideas I've been kicking back and forth. And by me doing all this other stuff, I've embellished it. So if you embellish something, you kind of give it a little artistic flair. As you give something an artistic flair, you pretty much putting more attention to it. As you put more attention to it and everything, you kind of remember some of the things that you've got with it. Why would you want to do all this in the first place? Why am I bringing this whole thing up? Well, even doing this website and doing all the other things involving it, I've noticed that to make any type of money or make anything with this, I've had to utilize multiple websites, multiple passwords, and just quite frankly, I've had to keep track of a lot of things. And any type of business you do, you're going to have to do the exact same things, keep track of stuff. So doing these particular using journals, I was able to easily keep track of what I'm doing, password-wise, website-wise, and, just overall improve the way I'm doing things. Now, I've met a lot of managers, I've met a lot of supervisors in various different jobs, and these skill sets are wind up missing. So I've had to reset passwords all the time. People hit me up of like, oh, I can't access my email because my password's messed up. Okay, your password's messed up. What was your email address? Oh, it's something at gmail.com. I can't fix that. I have no control over that, which means you're kind of lost. I have no control over people's email, and so you have to take a little bit better care of your passwords. So this is an option that I use. There is another option. It's these. You can create a text file, and I would really recommend using anything that has a TXT extension on it. Reason being, Apple can see the text file, Microsoft can see a text file, Unix, Linux, everything can read a text file. So the best thing I would generally do is I'll open up Notepad in Microsoft, and just type in, website da 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 da, password da 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 da, login such and such and such, and just keep on and just make a text file and put all my stuff on it, and then put it onto a thumb drive. Same thing can be done on a tablet or a phone. Just a simple text file. Da 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 da. Your website, you log in, password. Same thing can be used here. Now, the reason for that, like I said, is you'll find out that when you're starting to do any type of online business, you're going to be dealing with multiple websites, you're going to be dealing with multiple logins and multiple passwords. Now, you can use a lot of people recommend using an email password because you always remember what your email is, and it's a good idea to sync it. But in the event something happens where you get locked out or you have to change your password, well, then it doesn't jive with everything and you will forget it. So you're going to have to write it down somewhere. If you keep one of these things around, the minute you change it, you can put the password here. And then from that point on, you can migrate it out. Now, why am I using two? One I keep home, one I keep with me, and I try to sync them up on the weekends, so at least that way I have the same information. So if something happens where this gets lost, no big deal, I've got it here. If you use something like this and you use some sort of cloud method of storage, well, then the good thing about that is you can sync it up to your phone. So if the batteries are out and you have it set up for cloud, if this has access to your cloud, there you go, you have access to it. Another option, email it to yourself. In other words, you make a password and you make a text file with all your passwords and logins and this, that, and the other. Send an email to yourself. When you get your email, create an email folder and put it in there and call it something like peanut butter and jelly or recipes or some folder that doesn't say passwords. Reason being, if your email gets hacked and somebody sees this, if they say, it's a recipe for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, they'll overlook it. So that's a little tech tip that I give to you, just so that way you can be a little bit better prepared, better organized. Because I've seen a lot of people, they go out and, they're doing stuff with various different computers and everything, and that website that I used to go into, that one particular thing I did and everything, I can't remember the user ID and password. Yeah, do you remember the password to your email? Oh yeah, go into your email, log in, go to that folder, open up that little text file, and boom, there's all your passwords and stuff. So that way you don't even have to use any of this. You have an online solution for getting passwords and just getting yourself organized. And the reason I'm bringing this up, this whole, getting organized thing, is like I said, I've seen a lot of managers who are not organized, who can't remember their passwords, can't remember their logins, don't remember this, don't remember that. They have to do stuff and they're just totally unorganized. This cleans that up, and like I said, if you're in a management position or a business owner position, people look up to you. If you show that you don't know your passwords, you don't know how to log in, you don't know how to do this, that, and the other, you're showing incompetence, which means people are not going to be very trusting of you when it comes to, if you can't even own your own business or you're a supervisor, you're going to make more work for them. So there's a trust issue that gets created. Another aspect of this is, on top of journaling, is keeping your stuff together, an organizer. You could put all that information on these particular organizers, and like I said, it's best to have two, one for the field and one for home, just in case the field one gets messed up. Now, the reason why I have this particular one is, for the same thing. I use this for if I have things scheduled for a specific date or a specific time. Let's get back to daily. And here, you'll see I've used washi tape and stars, and I've really embellished it out, really, a whole lot. Get a little zoom in here. I have not too much white balance, but as you can see, I've really embellished it. I put as much as I possibly can on it, and by me putting all this stuff, and I've had to embellish it, I wound up remembering it because I'm putting extra time in putting all that stuff down. And like I said, this is my field book. At home, I've got it a little better. It's a larger book and everything, but I've done the exact same thing here. I've actually used the exact same washi tape, the exact same everything for this. I don't think you can focus it any better without the washout, but as you can see, I've pretty much done the exact same thing in two different platforms. But like I said, I only use this if I have special things scheduled and certain things, that way I can keep track of my time. One thing about management is time management. Basically being organized so that way you can do what you need to do when you need to do and keep track of it. And as far as regular information, passwords and stuff, and logins, I keep these little field notes. If something happens in the field, I can immediately just take this and write down, some of the stuff that I've noticed in fields, and then I can clean it up later on and send an email to myself or whatnot. But this is just a quick heads up of, how to do things a little better, how to make things a lot more organized, and just overall do a better job at what you're doing. Or if you're starting something, these are skills that you really need to pick up first, because as you start going on later on in some of the various different projects that we're going to be working on, keeping track of what you're doing, how you're doing, is going to be essential. Because like I said, you will be messing around with multiple websites. You will be messing around with multiple email addresses. And you're going to have to keep track of passwords and across all these different things. And you're going to have to have pretty much better skill sets. If you're already a manager or if you're already a business owner, utilizing these skills will improve upon what you're doing. So that before I get into any type of how to do business and this, that, and the other, these skills you really need to pick up.